hosted by yours truly, Still CMC, only on iLive Radio. And until then, be awesome to someone.
This is Sharice from The Spot. Catch me every Sunday, 5 to 7
So like
p.m.
if people go there now, what do they see right now?
Very best in neo
Oh, they see us.
jazz,
Oh, we're live.
underground hip hop,
They're not hearing anything, but they can see us
music,
right.
poetry, and community. Right here on iLive Radio.
This is John Brodsky. If I'm not snapping necks, cashing checks, wearing the large specs, I'm tuning to iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
I'll tell you a few seconds behind.
Welcome to the Patrick Morris Show. Thank you everyone for joining us this Sunday afternoon. My guest today is Roger Ortega. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh man, it's been a lot of fun connecting with you. I gotta say, before a couple weeks ago, had your friend Andrea on the show, who happens to be in the studio right now.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Andrea. And after that show, I had some people tweeting me and emailing me saying, "Oh man, I love the interview with Andrea, but you gotta get Roger on the show." And I was like, "Oh, okay, maybe these people work for you or something."
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, "Okay, this is cool." So I said to one of them, I said, "You know what? Send me an email,
Right.
and we'll figure it out." But I was already in talks with Kat to get you on here.
Right.
So I didn't quite I thought it was part of the same, promotional team or something.
Right.
But then it turns out this person doesn't work for you.
Right. No, there's a few people, and thank God they're out there, that will constantly tweet people and promote me. But I have yet to meet them. And so
I need some of these people.
Yeah, right?
Promoting my show. How do I
I know
find
there's
these people?
several of them and I'm so thankful. So for all of you that are out there doing all the tweeting and promoting for me that I have yet to meet, and I say yet because we will meet one day. Thank you.
That's, maybe you should give out like your home address or something so that they come visit you.
Yes, exactly. We had to talk about that, my wife and I, because right now we're mailing out merchandise, and she's like, I don't know if we should be putting our home address on this stuff, because as a return address. And so I started using wherever we're mailing it, like we're mailing a CD or a shirt, I use the address that I'm sending it to as the return address now as well. So this way it'll get there one way or the other.
And you get no stalkers in the bush.
And no stalkers in the bush.
Just freaking your wife out in the middle of the night.
Right.
All right. So you've been your first album you put out in what, 2012?
2012, yes.
Yeah. And that was fairly well received.
It was. It reached number 62 on iTunes, and that's always something I've been happy to hang my hat on, because as an independent artist to even chart was a big deal for me. And it was the album that got everything started for me, and it's not necessarily production-wise where I would want it to be, but it did what it needed to do in getting my name out there and giving me a career essentially. So
Getting you started and getting some dedicated fans.
yeah.
I'm telling you, I need some of those.
All right, so everybody follow Patrick Morris. And
Start
show
retweeting
us some
my
love.
show.
And yes, promote the iLive Radio.
I'm a nice guy. You're a nice guy.
Yes, we can make it work.
You can make it work.
We hit it off.
So you're from Kansas.
Kansas.
Now, so the last time when I had Andrea on the show,
Yeah.
we were talking about R&B, soul music and stuff
Right.
coming out of Kansas.
Right.
It's not really something that you would kind of think would be coming out of Kansas. It's
Right.
like, we were talking about the fact it was just tornadoes that came out of Kansas.
Right. Yeah.
And so you had a story about tornadoes.
Yes.
Apparently, and with your manager and
Yeah, Andrea and Kat are.
because last time they said they'd never seen tornadoes. I think
Right.
And
I had neither.
but apparently that's not true.
I was driving the girls to the airport for one of the shows we did in Kansas, and the girls are terrified of flying anyway. So you throw on top of that a bad storm. Did we just get shaken with the camera? Make sure we're good there.
Somebody's passing by. It's one of your fans.
Yeah, and we're driving to the airport, and it's storming. The girls, Kat and Andrea, not to call them out, but they were crying, because of the storm.
Okay.
And Andrea's in the back seat. She said, she looks out the window. She's like, "Roger, is that a tornado?" And I was like, "No, Andrea, that's a tornado." And we took off, and that was. I don't know whatever happened to that tornado, but
But you left it behind.
but we left it behind.
Now, you've done a lot of shows in Kansas.
Yes.
And, just reading from some of the stuff, you've got a lot of love in Kansas.
Kansas is amazing. The community there that I grew up in is supports me like crazy. So it's always fun to go back and show them what I've been doing and what I've been up to, because they saw me when nobody really wanted to see me. Like, I'm like 14 years old. My voice is cracking, and we were a bunch of cute kids doing something positive, but we were not very good. So the fact that they've been able to see me grow and turn this into a career is pretty special, I think, to them, and inspiring to them as well, to never give up on your dreams.
Your current, you just brought out some music this year.
Yes, the lottery.
Yes, and lottery's doing fairly well.
It is. So with the first album hitting number 62, I always wondered if that may have just been, what's the word I'm looking for? I say it all the time now, but if it was like luck, basically. Right, exactly. And I wanted to.
You gotta have some confidence in yourself.
Yeah, I know. I guess I do now, but now I'm like, well, if I can get to number 8, why can't I get to number 1? So who didn't buy the album?
So right now, currently, it's number 8.
It's dropped since, but it got as high as number 8, and we were up there for a while, and it was really cool. It was just a cool feeling to see myself like 3 spots away from The Weeknd, the artist, and I was just like, God, if we could just catch him. But even being that close to one of the hottest R&B acts in the world is pretty sweet.
You hit number 1 on the Atlantic.
On the Atlantic UK radio chart for the single "When I'm With You." It's been number 1 for 5 weeks, Katrina says. So we're doing pretty good out there. So thank you to everyone who keeps requesting and voting for that song. Let's try to make it 6 weeks.
Wow. Okay, so today's Father's Day.
Yes.
Right? And back in February, your father passed.
Yes, my dad passed away in February from I think you say esophageal cancer. It's like cancer of the esophagus.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy because we thought he was done with it. We thought he was well on his road to recovery. Went in for a checkup. Doctor didn't like what he saw. Said let's do a minor surgery, and it was just too much for his body, and he never came out.
My condolences. With
Thank
that.
you.
I know losing a parent can be a bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, so when your dad was here,
Yeah.
and you were growing up with him, what are some of the things that he looked at you and said, you know what, you're a man now. You got to take this. You're going on the road. You're gonna be experiencing some stuff. Stay focused. What was the kind of things that he said to help you with that?
He was just always have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just my dad. I said this yesterday that he just never grew up. My dad never grew up, and so I think that's why I still feel like a kid. The hat, the sunglasses, all that stuff. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. But no, it's funny. I look at my brothers, and we're all so different, and we're all we get along great, but we all grab something different from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
And my brother, I love kids, of course, but my younger brothers, they really love kids. And they take care of their kids so well. So real quick, I know you guys are watching. Happy Father's Day to my brothers, Mike, Chris, Rico, and I think that's the only one that has kids. Charlie, you're gonna have a stepdaughter, so happy Father's Day to you. I've got several brothers. I've got 7 brothers and 1 sister.
Good Lord.
Yes. Yeah.
It's not a lot to do in Kansas, is it?
No, I guess not. That's why I have 2 when I'm out here in the East.
So you had a tribute concert.
Yes.
For your father too, right?
Well, I had a concert that I did a tribute to my dad in,
Okay.
and I wrote a song for him called "Never Forget," put it on the album. And what I did for the show for the tribute was we had video screens, so I put pictures up. had the crowd hold the lights, the cell phone lights up in the air, and what I also did was I had my dad's bass on stage because he was a bass player.
Okay.
And what I did was I picked it up and I played it at the end of the song, which I'm not a bass player. I never picked up a bass before that day, and it showed in the performance. So
This was for
awesome.
you, Dad.
Yeah, it
All
was
right.
just like my dad would play.
Okay, so you've got kids yourself.
Mhm.
You mentioned you have 2 girls.
Yes, I have a 12-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay, and I noticed that your team throughout all seem to be women.
Yes, I'm
So
surrounded.
you're surrounded by a lot of estrogen.
Yes, and I can't tell you how happy I was yesterday to see guys show up at the party and bring some testosterone to the party. Because I'm telling you, we went to lunch. This is the first time my wife has been out with me on the road, and we went to lunch and she's like, "You're so quiet." I'm like, "This is the way it is." Like they're all the girls are talking and it's whatever they're talking about. I just kind of sit there and I wait to go back to the hotel. So I go back to my room and go to sleep. And it's just really interesting. But they're great. I wouldn't change it for the world. Like they're an amazing team.
So out of all the girls, I'm assuming that Kat's probably the biggest diva.
Kat's the biggest diva. Yes, Kat wouldn't tell you that, but you know, I get labeled the diva of the group.
Oh, you
because
get labeled the
I
diva.
get labeled the diva of the group because I'm always the last one. For not having any hair, like I take longer to get ready and get out the door than anybody. And I didn't really realize it until today when we were leaving the hotel. And I'm standing there in my room getting my stuff together, and one of our team members, Megs, what up, Megs, is standing there, and she's holding the door, and everyone's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I'm just waiting for Roger." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm the last one here. It's time to leave." So
So are you okay? Since you're the biggest diva, are you the ones?
So they say.
So other people say. So there may not be truth to this, but it's probably true. Are you like I need to make sure I have 10 cans of Red Bull, and I gotta have this
Only
type of
green
alcohol,
M&Ms.
exactly,
Yeah.
green M&Ms, or green jelly beans
No,
in the hotel room.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. I think I'm just a control freak, and listen, and I'm an old dude. I'm set in my ways, so I know what I want. I know what I don't want. Sometimes I get a lot of slack from the girls because I don't drink that much, or I want to go to bed early. Like, how are you gonna live this lifestyle and you want to be in bed at 10 o'clock?
You gotta be. You're okay. So I think they're trying to groom you to be a rock star.
Right.
And you get this visions of rock stars renting hotels, and afterwards the maids come in and they're crying.
Right.
Because things have been ripped apart. And
Yeah, exactly.
Pillows and cushions everywhere.
The only thing I rip apart are the bed sheets.
Oh, no. I'm just kidding. He's like, awkward.
Well,
Commercial,
hey,
they're commercials. We take a commercial
Hey, you
break.
said this is the first time your wife's coming on the road with you.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh,
But that just got real awkward. Oh, man. No.
Okay. Let's take this in another direction
Yeah,
before you get
yeah.
yourself in trouble. The next thing you
Yeah,
know,
so let's
Patrick
not
Gilmore
dig this
shows
hole.
responsible for waking up
Yeah.
happy home or
Before my
something.
wife puts you in the lawsuit for the
Exactly.
divorce.
Okay, so what are some of the things that keep you grounded? Like, what keeps you focused on? Because you often hear a lot of people. They start out, they start making it big. They get the fans who are, you got those fans.
Yeah.
You getting some success in your music and everything. What keeps you focused in continuing to be who you are and not get lost in the midst of all that shuffle?
Family, man.
Yeah.
Family. The girls, Lyric and Talia, my daughters, hey babies. I mean, they know what goes on, outside the house and what dad does. But I mean, Talia is the first one to keep me grounded when I have to be dad and I have to be like, no, listen, and I'm like, oh, I'm not so cool now. Like if my fans could only see me reprimanding my daughters, or just whatever. But family, I got my entire family, my brothers, my uncles, we're all jokesters and they will knock me down. Like my head will never get big because of them. Kat keeps me grounded as well. And, and honestly, like I don't think at this point in my life I would be like that. If I had this career 15, 20 years ago, I might have really been in a different place. I probably wouldn't be married. But I'm an older guy. Again, I know what I want. I'm set in my ways. But my family really does a great job of keeping me grounded. I was talking one time about how I was joking about eating something that I hadn't tried before, and I was like, "Oh, I've got such a sophisticated palate now." And my uncle just chimed in, he goes, "Sophisticated palate?" He's like, "I remember you used to eat dirt." You know, so it's things like that, those little quips that keep me grounded.
People reminding you that you used to eat dirt.
Yes.
Okay. Do they have pictures? There's pictures of this? I know there's probably not video, but are there pictures of this?
Oh, I'm sure there
The
is.
moment that you start to step out of line, somebody starts posting these photos.
Oh, you see it anytime on
Back versus
Facebook.
the
My uncle Art is great. Just go in and crack a joke, like it's hilarious. But you know, I'm a pretty grounded guy anyway. But it's always fun to mess around. I love being the butt of the joke. So I don't know why.
So, what made you move from Kansas to it was Jersey, right?
Yes, in '98, my group at the time, Slow Motion, got a production deal, so we moved up to New York. And funny, we did a goodbye, going away concert in Kansas 5 days before we moved, and actually that's where I met my wife. And so
She had to grab hold of you before you left town.
yeah, she saw dollar signs. Don't do that. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like, he's going places.
Yeah,
I'm going with
I'm
him.
going. Yeah.
Leaving these tornadoes behind.
Yeah. Oh man, no. It's so that's what brought me up here was my group, and unfortunately things had fallen apart. We've been together 10 years, and the contract didn't pan out. So that's what brought us out here. And so we've been here now 17 years, and it's great. I love being out here on the East Coast, and I love New York and everything. Eventually, I'd like to come home, but I need to be here for now. So.
Okay. So you visit Toronto a fair bit.
Yes. This is like my second home. I was just telling him I got to start calling it Kansas. Kansas.
No, don't do that. 'Cause the tornadoes might move with you.
Yeah.
I think we're quite comfortable
Without
with
tornadoes.
the tornadoes being where they are. Just not in Toronto. We're good with
They'll
that.
take the snowstorms over the tornadoes any day.
Okay, so what's your, okay, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. And
Absolutely.
you can give me some feedback. We lost a few artists this year.
Mm-hmm.
Some big talent, and we around the radio station we've often had the conversation like Prince is gone, Bowie's gone.
Yeah.
All these people are just they're passing, and it's like, okay, so who? When we look in the music industry right now, it's almost like who is the baton being passed on to?
Wow.
It's.
I mean, it depends on the genre, of course.
Yeah.
Let's say with pop music, I feel like right now the two top guys in like R&B pop music. Well, I'm gonna say three. You've got Usher. Those Usher and Justin Timberlake superstars, and Bruno Mars.
Mhm.
Bruno Mars, I think, is more than well equipped to take that to the next generation and be as well respected. I mean, he puts on an amazing show. He's a crazy talented musician with an amazing voice, and his songwriting is like no other. So, but those three are kind. And then you got like Beyonce, But it just really depends. There's so many. You're right. It's a good question too. Then there's Roger Ortega.
Yeah, there's that guy. He's coming up.
Yeah, no, I would never in a million years ever. See, I told you I'm humble.
But when you look at, or maybe you could put it back in a slightly different direction with you, but when you look at what you do, right, and you look at, people like Prince,
Right.
people like Michael Jackson, people like Bowie, when you look at people like them, and then you look at yourself and you're like, okay, so there's a certain level of longevity
Right.
that they've been able to create throughout their careers, 20 years, 30 years,
Right.
so on, that not a lot of artists have the ability to be able to capture that.
Right.
So when you're in the studio and you're creating your music, and do you think about, are my kids going to be able to stand up and say, my dad was Roger, and everybody be like, well, yeah, I know Roger, or is it going to be, my dad was Roger, and then he made a lot of money, but
Right.
it is. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because we all know there's so many artists out there that they have an amazing song. It's hot for the summer.
Right.
And then a couple of years on the road, it's like they're old school.
Right. I don't
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a really good question. I don't think about that when I'm writing. I don't think about the longevity or the shelf life of the song.
Mhm.
What I think about when I'm recording is the listener.
Mhm.
Like how are they going to perceive the song? How I'm picturing how they would be listening to it and how it might make them feel. Ultimately, I picture myself performing the song as well because that's my favorite part of this whole thing is performing. But longevity, it's funny. I'm good friends with if you remember the group Color Me Bad,
Mhm.
and I remember when we first met them years ago, and we were talking about longevity, and they were like, the average career span is, at the time in the '90s was about roughly 5 to 7 years for an artist,
Mhm.
and now that's changed though. I feel like because now we're going back to like you get those '90s tours. You've got the New Kids on the Block touring again, and you've got the artists from the early 2000s are doing tours. So people aren't ready to let go of their memories, their youth, their genre of music, the stuff that they grew up on because it's nostalgic. And so now you're getting to have a much longer shelf life. I'm a little bit different because I didn't have a hit like that when I was younger, but a majority of my fans are that older demographic who still purchase CDs, who love to buy merchandise. By the way, if you're ordering CDs, we're out. We're out. We thank you, but it's going to be a week or two. I didn't think we'd sell as many this fast, so I've got to order some new ones. But
It's a good problem to have.
yeah. So I just wanted to announce that right now while I'm thinking about it because I have the memory of a goldfish. They're going to start calling me Dory. I know.
Okay, so when you, who are some of those artists for you that you kind of look up to and help to give you some inspiration?
Like artists now or artists from the past or
Just whoever's influenced you.
It depends. It depends on what song I'm writing. I was really inspired a lot for this album early on by like Chris Brown. I love Chris Brown I love his style. And then
Just don't take all his habits, okay?
Right. You sit there.
Do we need to talk after this?
Yeah. Do you need help? The sign says help me.
Just touch your eye.
Yeah. Do this. This is the sign. So it depends, but I always pull from my roots, like George Michael Jackson, Babyface.
George Michael's. I think he's totally underrated there.
Absolutely.
That guy could sing.
His voice is just smooth and pretty and open and strong, and it could be soft and his voice was amazing.
Yeah,
and
a lot of soul.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I first moved up here, I actually heard him and Mary J. Blige do a duet, and they were like playing him on Hot 97 in New York City, which is like our hip hop station. I was like, yeah, George Michael's on Hot 97. That's huge. So I was glad he was getting some love from the Black community and the hip hop community. But he was very underrated. And I actually saw him in concert a couple years ago. He did a 2-hour show and sounded amazing. He was still able to pull it off. So.
Okay, so you've got time when you're in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
You write your own songs?
Yes.
Okay, so you're writing your own songs, so that's one process.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the studio trying to work with your producers in order to get the sound right for the lyrics that you wrote, which I'm assuming is no easy feat.
Right.
At times.
Yeah.
And then once that's captured, now you're on stage, on tour, trying to perform this.
Right.
What part of that process is your favorite?
The performing, hands down. I enjoy the creative part of it as far as putting it together because I get to express myself. I get to play around with characters that in my head that I envision myself to be for this particular song, or I get to let my heart out and just say whatever I want to say. So it's good from a creative outlet. That's great, but there's nothing to me like performing on stage and having the fans cheer for you, or when the best part is when the fans are singing the lyrics to your songs. Like that's always the best.
You just put the mic down and let them go.
Oh man, and you save your voice. Do an hour-long show and just hold the mic out. And half the time I forget the words of my songs anyway, so it works out.
You shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Yes. Make sure that he's
We'll
got a
edit that out.
teleprompter, okay?
Yeah. We'll edit this out live. You didn't see what you just saw. You can't see me.
Okay, so why do you wear sunglasses all the time?
Well, these are actually prescription.
You forgot your other ones.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
the other ones are my TV glasses.
That's what happens when you start to get older, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny because the other day I picked up something and I went to read it and I was like, and my son was like, Dad, what's going on? I'm like, I can't see it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I think I'm getting old.
It's getting there. Damn it. No, there's a couple reasons. One, they are prescription, so I see much better with these glasses on. And two, like my mom just pointed out for the second time in 3 days. Thanks, Mom. She called me to wish me a happy Father's Day this morning, and thank you, Mom. I love you. And she goes, well, make sure you get some rest while you're up there. She's like, because those last few videos I saw, she's like, you hadn't shaved, because you look really tired, your eyes look, she goes, and I don't want anything to happen to you. I'm like, thanks, Mom, I know.
See,
But then I proceeded to tell her that this was not about rest this weekend. This isn't a vacation. Like, we didn't go to bed till, 3:30 the first night. We didn't go to bed till 3:30 last night. We're up at 8 in the morning.
The life of a rock star.
Yeah.
Drinks and girls all day.
Yeah, something like that.
And fans. Partying.
And all the little logistics and the details and everything that go into getting to that point. That's a lot more stressful than I think people understand, because all they see is the finished product. And they don't see all the phone calls that I make or all the time I spend on the computer, like getting things together to come up with the logo, to come up with the name for the album, to come up with the picture, arranging all of this stuff like for photo shoots and coordinating it all. Everything so that it all happens at one time, by a certain date, so that we can get it out there, and then dealing with promotions and setting up like the interviews and whatnot. It's a lot of work that goes into it that I think people don't see. That's fine. They don't need to see that. I just want them to see the finished product and enjoy it and enjoy life.
So I think that's a piece of the puzzle that a lot of fans don't really understand. They don't understand that this is a lot of work.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of people who they put us on YouTube and they're like, okay, I'm gonna be a hit like Justin Bieber.
Right.
Somebody's gonna discover me and it's gonna be great. But they don't realize all the, like you said when you were like 14 when your voice was cracking and nobody wanted to hear you.
Right.
And you were still pushing through that. You still knew what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
For those younger guys who are coming up who are wanting to be in this industry, what would you say to them?
First off, never give up.
And now keep in mind you can't smack them upside the head anymore.
Right, well, yeah,
Generally
it's a whole
frowned
different
upon.
world. Yeah, whole different world. That's why my kid talks back to me. My hand is there, but I'm like, she's gonna call the cops. I'm done.
They know 911.
Yes, yeah, they got it. And they all have phones, so what are you gonna do? I just say never give up. Be prepared to spend a lot of money because it's not a cheap industry. And to
I thought your manager paid for everything.
Oh yeah. She does pay for a lot. I mean, she's a great manager. She got me a really thoughtful gift, for Father's or for my lottery, but for my dad, and it's a picture of my dad with the lyrics to my song. And she got me this bracelet that says the lottery. Like, she's an awesome manager. I couldn't ask for a better one.
So the next contract, make sure you put in that she pays for it.
Yes, I'll sneak that in there.
Exactly.
But no, it's tough. You see a lot of these kids that are coming up on YouTube, and I'm like, how do these kids have these hundreds and thousands and millions of views? And then you see the back end of it where you see that people are buying all this. You can buy views, you can buy followers, you can buy listens, but none of that matters because those you can buy 3 million views, but if nobody's buying your album, nobody's gonna want. I mean, people in the industry can see behind.
It's gonna look like people like you if you got 3
It
million
does from
views.
the outside, but from the people in the industry,
Yeah.
they all know the tricks, man.
Yeah.
The people behind the doors know when you're faking it, and I like when I first got up on Twitter, I was with an independent label, and they were like, you need to buy some followers, and I'm like, why am I gonna buy followers? Like, well, we got to make it look like this, and this. So I think they got me like 3,000 to 5,000 followers, and I hated it because it was fake. I'm like, these people aren't gonna buy tickets to the show. These people aren't gonna buy the album. They're not gonna buy the single. They're not real. What's the point? You look at these things, and you can always tell.
It's robots.
Yeah, it's so I would say just be as real as you can about it, and just be organic. It'll happen organically. If you're meant to have this happen, it'll happen organically.
So a lot of people, they think that, the superstar, you get there, you're standing in front of the crowd, you're doing your thing. Oh, this is great, I made it.
Yeah.
Is that you?
No.
Did you make it?
No.
I mean, you're number one on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm gonna drop the mic. I'm walking out of the interview right now. It's over. I'm done. I'm Michael Jackson status.
$125 for an autograph.
Yeah. No, man. I feel like if I ever got to that point where I felt like I made it, then it's time to walk away. Meaning that, when you stop trying to be better, then you're done with it. You're done. And not in a good way. It's just like, what, I guess I shouldn't be doing this anymore because I don't have the heart to push further and to want to do better. So I definitely don't feel like I made it, and I don't ever think that I would feel like I could have 10 #1 hits of the #1 song in the country, and I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, I did it, but what can we do now to top that, And then, when I retire one day, I'll look back like, man, I did make it. That was cool.
What made you follow your dream?
Growing up around music, it was always in my house. My dad was in a band, and he's been playing since I was born. And so there was always music in the household. They were always listening to a lot of the stuff that the show was previously on before you.
Always digging.
My dad would always listen to a lot of that funk, R&B, the classics, and so I grew up on a lot of that. And I always thought, and this is gonna sound bad, I'm sure, but I always thought that like black music was cool, and I always thought, man,
it is cool. What's wrong with you?
But I always wanted to be cool, like black. I don't want to say I wanted to be black, but I used to want to be so good at what I did that I would want people to listen to my song and wonder, is he black? I've since outgrown that because now I'm like, I just want them to know it's me.
Just want to be you.
Yeah, but I used to want to sound like a black singer, and I used to want to be able to do the riffs and the runs and have that. But I can riff and run a little bit, but I don't sound like a black singer. I just sound like me. But that wanting to be, because my dad loved that music, and my mom loved that music. I wanted to be cool in their eyes.
Okay.
But I just a love for music. Growing up, my uncles and everyone I was just surrounded by it.
So where did that shift happen for you, wherein you kind of stopped wanting to sound like somebody else, and you said, you know what, this is me. This is who I am.
About 6 months ago. I mean, it was. It's funny. You take, in my mind, when I listen to my album, there are certain parts of certain songs where I'm like, oh, I remember like specifically wanting to sound like George Michael on this part, or I specifically wanted to sound like Jordan Knight from the New Kids on the Block on this part, or I specifically want to sound like Michael or Prince. Every song, there's some element of my idols. And but what I've realized over the years is instead of trying to sound like them, it's more about all those inspirations and all those what's the word I'm looking for? I always say it all the time, but influences. Yeah. They've made me. So they've made my voice original, and so I sound like me because I'm pulling from Richard Marx, I'm pulling from Babyface, I'm pulling from Prince or Michael, but it's me, So that's
when you look at an artist like Pink.
Yes.
When Pink first came out, she was very R&B.
Yeah.
And then I missed something.
She's like, I'm like.
She was very R&B, but now when you listen to her sound now, it's very different than what it was when she first came out.
Right.
So it's almost like somewhere in the process she had her own evolution.
She had to find herself.
Yeah, she figured out this is what I want to. This is what I want it to be.
Right.
I guess being independent, you have so much more control.
Absolutely.
Over what your sound is like. There's no big. corporation kind of saying, well, this is, you sound like George Michael, so
You
we're
need to
gonna
do this,
you
right?
need to do this way, and then it's almost like you're fighting to find your footing within that.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what are some of the advantages with being independent?
That's exactly it. I'm in control. I'm the boss, so everything falls back on me. Mistake or not, it falls back on me, and I have to accept blame for that or credit for that.
Or blame your manager.
Or yes, exactly. It's being able to say, listen, the buck stops here. My management advises me. Usually we're right on the same page, but every now and then I may want to go this way, and sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. You just never know, but it all stops here, and I can't blame anybody else. So that's what I love about it. With like the album, for instance. Initially, I'm like, oh, I want my album to sound like this. I wanted to sound like, I wanted to have all these new, like the kind of like the new age R&B, some of the new age hip hop, some trap.
So trap.
And yeah, it's
not a lot of trap we play on the station.
Yeah.
I think Jason likes trap.
Right. And then as I was writing the songs, I was taking elements of this stuff.
Yeah.
But it organically became my album, which is a nice mix of 90s R&B, 2K pop, and today's music as well, and I was somehow able to make it that I guess make it in a way that it would appeal to the biggest audience I could possibly make it appeal to,
and kind of still represent
and
you.
being myself without trying to sound too much like Chris Brown, or you're not. So that's what I love about being independent is I have total control. I am very, very talkative.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say I'm very controlling.
I am, but
with all this control you're talking about, I think your wife needs to. Do you need to?
I think you need help.
You
need help controlling.
I was reading an article the other day, and they said that older R&B is outselling new.
Right.
So older music is outselling new music in a lot of different genres. And there's a big discourse that's going on right now about the state of the music industry and saying that a lot of the new stuff that's coming out is not that great.
Right.
What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's also commercialized and discardable. Like it's all. Everyone just wants the single out. Everyone wants to capitalize on that one song, and I don't think they really care. I don't think labels care about the artists as much because they're not getting full albums. They're in it for the quick buck. Labels are losing money, so they're trying to make as much money in every way they can. Hence these new 360 deals where they're taking they're taking money from your touring now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they take money from your touring, your merchandise, everything that you do. Those labels get a piece of it because that's how they have to make their money now to survive. But going back to the old R&B outselling the new stuff, you're right. It's funny. I'm on the R&B soul charts on iTunes, and I'm surrounded. The album ahead of me was Lauryn Hill, an old Lauryn Hill album, and then I was surrounded by Prince. I think. Had Prince not gone down, I'm sorry, Prince, my album might have done better because there were at least 50 Prince albums on that chart, but because those albums are all still selling. Obviously, Prince because of what happened.
Yeah.
But like Lauryn Hill is still selling a ton of records, and I saw Marvin Gaye on the charts as well. So I totally agree. Those albums are outselling some of these new albums.
What do you think causes that? Do you think it's more of a nostalgia thing? Do you think it does represent the state of current music in general?
I think it's the music back then was more heartfelt, genuine, and you could feel it. Now you'll feel they want you to dance a little bit more. You're not getting the soul as much like you used to get, like Otis Redding and all those guys.
You can't even tell what they're saying these days.
Yes. I mean, man, I don't want to sound old, but damn. Yeah, exactly. Number one hit. Maybe I'm trying too hard. That's what it is. I'm trying too hard.
Somebody needs to come to your house at 3 a.m., wake you up, and start recording you when you're getting out of bed. That's a new hit song or something.
All right, honey, you have a new job. You're gonna be my new producer.
iLive Radio kind of started. It was kind of the brainchild of Jason standing up over there.
What's up, Jason?
And the whole premise behind it was the fact that when you turn on mainstream radio, like I was driving with my son. I say this, I'll tell the story every once in a while. I was driving with my 12-year-old, and there's like 4 channels that he likes to listen to, and he was flicking through all 4 of them, and all 4 of them were playing the same song at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just kind of looked at my son and I go, I think it's time you stop listening to this. And he's like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I go, they all have the exact. Where's the diversity?
Right.
There's a point in time in our history wherein the musical diversity was something that was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You may not, your least favorite song may have came on the radio, but it still had an impact. It still influenced you.
Right.
Subconsciously, it still influenced you in a way.
Yeah.
And you got a good mix of whether it was hip hop, reggae, house, country, whatever it was, you got a good mix of that. So a lot of the artists, the older artists, I think, were so influenced by so many different genres.
Right.
That when they were putting out what they were putting out, you felt a little bit of that.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
now it's like we're all segregated along musical lines.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the new kids that are coming out making music have no idea what the foundation is that they're building on.
Right. Right.
Like
So it loses that. It's funny. Like you remember, and I'm gonna be old again. But do you remember when you used to make cassette tapes and copies?
Oh yeah.
So you would take that copy and make a copy, but you would lose a generation. So it didn't
Yeah.
sound as good as the first. Then you make another copy of that, and you lose a generation. And I feel like we're getting further and further removed away from so many of the greats and what they laid down as the foundation of quality music. Not that there are people making quality music now,
Yeah.
but for the most part, it's all just disposable. It's disposable music that is not going to, stand the test of time like Thriller,
Yeah.
or Purple Rain or any of those.
So okay, all right, right here, right now, exclusive.
Oh.
Roger Ortega is going to give us the formula as to how we fix this.
God.
Well,
Here.
first off, you got to talk to your grandparents. You got to talk to your grandparents, and you've got to get a damn good history lesson on who they listen to, and then practice. It's a tough. I don't think we'll ever have the type of music. I mean, listen, music is meant to change. It's art,
Mhm.
But I don't. And listen again, what the kids are listening to now, like. My kids, in 30 years, they're gonna be like, man, that was real music when Justin Bieber was putting out "Baby, Baby," and, but that was the good stuff, So who knows how it's gonna change? You never know.
Okay, so something you touched on a little bit, and what you were saying when you were creating your music, and it's a certain feeling that you're going for, and that you're trying to get people to connect with that.
Right.
And then when you're on stage and you see people singing the lyrics of your song,
Mhm.
and you kind of have that connection
Right.
with your audience. Do you think that is in the quote unquote disposable music that we're talking about? Do you think that that's a priority, or is it?
I think with it,
It's a nice baseline. We can play this in 20 clubs, and
that's what I think they're looking for. I think they're looking for songs that they can segue into with other songs. They're looking for songs that are chants or catchy, so that they only need like 4 words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Listen, I'm not dogging on Justin. I love Justin. This is popping in my head right now. So it's they go for things that are the easiest, simplest common denominator to get it played.
But is the audience really
They're
dare I say,
brainwashed.
dumb?
Okay, yes.
Like,
I was gonna say dumb, and I was like, well, maybe brainwashed, but it's tough, man. You go to these people don't really listen to lyrics anymore. I think especially people that go out to like clubs. They just want to dance. So if the beat's good, you can play
have
it.
some drinks and you're good.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're drunk, who cares what they're saying?
Exactly. So I think I write music for people that really want to listen to lyrics. I remember when Richard Marx won an American Music Award for a song he wrote called Hazard.
Mhm.
And it told the story of this kid moving to this small town, he fell in love with this girl. Everyone pointed at him as the bad kid. They didn't like him or his family. He went out for a walk with this girl named Mary. He left her wherever. She disappeared, and they all pointed the finger at him as the guy that And when he won it, and he even in the '80s, late '80s, early '90s, when he won this award, he was like, "Wow!" He's like, "You guys still listen to lyrics."
Yeah.
And I thought that was just the coolest thing, and that stuck with me. I wanted to make lyrics. I wanted that told stories. I wanted people to feel, see the situation with. I have a song called "The Lounge" where, it's really about if I had the guts to walk up to a girl at a club, and this is what I would say to her, and. But when you're listening to the lyrics, you're like, you picture yourself like in that moment, like, man, if I was that dude, would I say that? My name is Aro. What's your name, babe? It's a pleasure to meet you, And I want people to feel these songs when they listen to the lyrics.
The art of storytelling
Mhm.
does seem like it's gone.
Mhm.
And one of my sons was listening to. I came in the house and he was listening to somebody. I'm not going to say who they are, but like every second, third word was an F-bomb.
Yeah.
And then,
Was that my album?
So I sat him down and we pulled up the lyrics.
Yeah.
And I went through it with him and started crossing out all the cuss words.
Oh, interesting.
And I said, okay, so what's he saying?
Yeah.
And he was looking at me. He's like, oh, he's not saying anything.
Yeah.
And I go, so what are you doing? What are you listening to that for? Like, that's got to tell you something, right?
Right.
That our society, we rely so much on the profanity,
Right.
and we use it as like punctuation marks, stuff
Absolutely.
like that. And we rely so much on it that if we remove it from the equation, then it completely changes everything. All of a
Right.
sudden, what you thought meant something doesn't really mean a whole lot anymore.
Exactly.
And that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe I am old. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I am old, but
25 is not old these days. It's okay.
again. But yeah, like when you look at the state of music and in general, obviously there's some really good stuff that's out there. But in general, when you look at the state of music, you gotta start asking yourself the question. At some point, there's gotta be a revolution.
Right.
There's
You
gotta
gotta
be.
think.
There's gotta be an awakening of some point where the masses sort of look at it and say, okay, we don't want to hear what you're pushing to us.
Right. It's funny, the radio station and everyone is pushing like crazy. They're pushing Taylor Swift, but in my mind, Taylor Swift is one of the few artists out there telling stories,
Mhm.
regardless of it's the same story. For breakups, she's finding great ways to tell it with great hooks and great music behind it. So she's deserving, I think, of the success she has, because I really feel like she's telling stories. I think she writes really good songs,
Mhm.
and they're catchy, and that she's lined everything up perfectly. As far as I'm concerned, at least from my standpoint, because I get the nice melodies, I get the catchy hooks, and I get the story.
Yes.
And she's not hard on the eyes either.
That sometimes helps.
Yeah,
Like
like me.
See, that's why your fans are, so committed to you.
Because I look like Taylor Swift.
Because exactly. So we've got a point wherein you figured out who you were. You figured out what your sound was going to be. And then you look back and you see all the stuff that's kind of influenced you. And then there's a certain feeling, certain emotion that you try to impart to the people in the stories that you tell.
Right.
When you look at the other artists that are out there, let's just say the artists that are coming up,
Okay.
and they're trying to tell their stories. A lot of times they say, art, the best stories that you can tell that people are going to connect to is, when you go through hard times, when you go
Right.
through, when you're experiencing something, when you have an experience that other people can relate to. Is most of your stuff about those happy days and when you're meeting your wife at a concert when you're about to leave town?
That's it's funny. The album is called The Lottery, because she has a lot to do with that. I mean, I felt like I hit the lottery in life with her, with my career, and which is my upbringing, my team. Like I hit the lottery. Like
You're getting-
my life. Yeah, I'm
you're
trying to make up for that.
Brownie points right now. They go from earlier.
No, it's I have such. Listen, we all have tragedy in our lives and whatnot, but for the most part, like if I was to go today, I would have lived a great life. Relatively, not even relatively. I've lived a pretty cushy life, you know, and not from a financial standpoint. I grew up poor, but now I'm not.
Sorry, at the bottom.
Yeah.
Bottom of Kansas.
Yes, that's right.
Running from tornadoes.
But you know, so I write a lot about is love. Like love. I think Lionel Richie said this to a friend of mine actually. That you know, love is universal. Like no matter, you can be the hardest gangster in the world, but love is always that common denominator. So I write about love. I write about heartache, and I try to do it as different as I can because I mean I only know so much. You know, I don't claim to be. You know, a master of love, but I mean, maybe I am. I guess I've had a successful marriage, so yeah. So I'm still trying to get those points back.
You gotta write a song. I know. You gotta write a song about
Master of love.
Master of love. Exactly. People might take it the wrong way though.
Yeah, right.
Just like what they, you know, the iLife website.
Oh yes, Master of love.
Just make sure if you're going to the iLive website, you go to iliveradio.com.
Don't go to iLive.
Don't go to iLive.
Which
Make sure
is,
you go to
don't go to
iLive.
iLive at work. That's the thing. If you're at work, don't go to iLive. Oh man.
Okay. Could I ask your opinion on a couple of things?
Okay.
So when you think of music,
Okay.
Sting or the Police?
Ooh. I actually like, and don't hate me, guys. I actually like it better with the Police. I love the Police. Yeah. I mean, he's grown so much more as an artist on his own.
Yeah.
But maybe I was just nostalgic. You know, I still remember the video of him with all the candles. Ding, ding. I can't remember the song now, but I remember the video.
Yes.
But no, I think it's a nostalgic thing. I mean, I just like the older stuff.
Okay. George Michael or what?
That's tough because those shorts I used to wear in Wham. I used to have a pair. Wham
I never had a pair of those shorts.
He's not wearing any shorts right now. You guys can't see it. I'm going to go with George Michael. I think George Michael because that's just where I think I really kind of hit my stride with really starting to understand what music was about and what he was saying and everything. But Wham was the stuff that grabbed me right away, the pop stuff. So, but I like his other stuff.
Bowie or Prince?
I grew up on Prince, and but man, that's tough. That's tough too. I mean, you're talking two greats in that simultaneously, like you know, just their genres were right there. They could either one of them could have swapped places.
That's true. That's true.
But just because I grew up mainly on Prince, I gotta say Prince.
You guys have Prince?
I gotta say Prince.
No love for Bowie?
Well, you know, him and Bing Crosby killed it on that Christmas special. Let's dance. Put on the red shoes and dance the blues.
If we were to, you know, go to your car right now, what would you play? Besides your option.
It would be the Cats Christmas.
The Cats Christmas?
It's like this Christmas album that I got for my daughters. It's just a bunch of cats. Oh my god. Netflix has ruined Christmas for me. Because my daughter watches Christmas all year long. And the rule in our house was always Christmas music starts on Thanksgiving and it stops. I want to stop at Christmas Day, but my wife is like.
So American Thanksgiving or Canadian Thanksgiving?
American Thanksgiving. No, if you go to my car right now and see what's in there right now, sadly.
Just music-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know about the music stuff.
You'd be listening to the lottery. You'd be listening to my album right now. Every time I get in the car, I turn it to the radio, but when I get in the car, It's like one of my songs on the album. She's got the CD in there, so that's what's in there. But it would probably be some Drake or Chris Brown.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned Chris Brown a few times.
I like Chris Brown, aside from his personal stuff, I love his music. I love his style. The kid's a phenomenal dancer. I just like the way his music flows, and I like the way he changes it up and the way he's grown artistically. But yeah, I don't know.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you had, you could only have music from one artist.
Ooh.
And play that, and you're stuck on this desert island. You don't know when you're going to be rescued. What would that one artist be?
Songs I could listen to over and over
Without losing your mind.
Right.
I see.
I would go with Michael Jackson, man, because I'd have. I mean, I don't know if it includes his Jackson 5 stuff, but it would have like Off the Wall. It would have Thriller. I would have Bad. I would have all these. I think I could do that. That would be the one probably.
MJ?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We got like I don't know, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, Jason? Can I check?
3.5 minutes.
We got 3.5 minutes. So how do people connect with you? How did they buy your album? That seems to be sold out right now.
RogerOrtega.com is the best way to reach me because that's where I've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We were just talking about this. So everything. Just go to RogerOrtega.com. You'll find links to everything. Yes, and you can reach out to us for the merchandise there as well.
You can buy hats and t-shirts and
T-shirts,
short shorts.
booty slap. We do have booty slap shorts.
You wear those ones?
I have one right now underneath my jeans. And yeah, so we have all sorts of fun stuff. But yes, we are running low on the new shirts, so I'm going to have to put another order in for those. And once again, we're out of CDs right now. If you've already ordered one or you've asked me to reserve one for you, don't worry, it's still there. But all the new orders coming in after today have to wait like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
So what's next? What's next for you?
Next for me-
concert, next album.
Next
Oh,
for
this
me-
one just finished. Well,
We're heading to, we're going to head to the Much Music Video Awards. There's like a pre-party or something that we're going to.
let's go down.
And then after this, then I'll start preparing next week for my next show back in Kansas again in July, and a couple of weeks, July 16th. And meanwhile, we've got tons of meetings and strategizing that we've got to do because a lot of big things have come up since this album has come out, and we got to figure out how we're going to capitalize on it.
Just remember, in the fine print,
Yes,
your manager
pay
pays
for
for
everything. Yes,
I'm just saying.
got it right
All
here, right here.
Just saying. So for your next appearances, next shows that you're doing, all that's on your website.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Actually, I need to update it. Yes.
So you need to get some minions, man. You know what's good? Co-op students.
Oh, my best friend actually helped me maintain the website. He built it, and I usually maintain and update it myself. But I just keep forgetting to tell him. But I'm like, so long. I'm saying there's like a million things to do. You forget, one of the most important things is to keep your website up to date. So.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you
it's
for having me.
definitely a pleasure. I hope that the audience listening, learned a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
How much you like Chris Brown. And,
Yeah, I hope you had fun last night at the album release party.
Oh yeah, that's man.
I saw you getting your jig on.
Everybody was drinking and
freaking out, freak out.
and, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
That's all we can say.
I'm not that young anymore, man.
Yeah, you heard. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you.
On that note,
Yes, sir.
definitely a pleasure. I hope that next time you're in town, we can connect. And,
Absolutely.
we'll be talking about your new album.
Yes.
That'll be number one
That'll be
everywhere.
number one. Yes, if everyone buys
It'll
it.
be number one everywhere. And people reach out to you. Your website again?
RogerOrtega.com. The lottery is available on iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, everywhere.
Perfect. Thank you everyone for joining me today, and we will be back not next week, but the week after that. Stay tuned for DJ sessions as he takes it away. Have a great Sunday afternoon and a wonderful Father's Day.
You're listening to iLive Radio. Changing
Awesome,
the way
bro. That was
you
great.
listen to
Thank you.
radio.
Thank you.
iLive Radio.
Yes, I gotta warn people that I talk a lot.
That's the whole point.
I will to get from point A to point B. I've got to go to D, C, E, F, G, and
That's all good, man. That's all good.
Thank you so much, man. This is a great concept you have here. Great place you have. Thank you. We got one there.
I said that I love you so, and I mean it so, from the bottom of my heart. I'm telling you today, baby, so that's something been advised. Comes to no surprise that you turn me off so giddy. What's up, people? This is Omar. You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio.
This is DJ Amber from Absolute, extraordinary good hip hop on iLive Radio. You can catch my show every Friday night on iLive Radio from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time with my co-host Hugh from the Dream Warriors. Absolute, sponsored by the Hip Hop Magazine, the lifestyle, the culture, the music, and the DJs.
And I'm going your mother. We're the internet's best choice.
This is John Brosky. If I'm not snapping necks, cashing checks, wearing the large specs, I'm tuned into iLive Radio.
You're listening to iLive Radio, changing the way you listen to radio. iLive Radio.
So, the soul expression show with DJ Sessions.
Camera's still on.